Don't hold back! You're going down!
Oh, thank goodness. It's been 1,000 years, but at last we are finally unchained. Also, hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Pathfinder, Lord of Nothing, where I have spent far too long trying to cheese the chained darkness to death. Because goodness knows we were never going to beat this guy fairly. I mean, I tried, sort of. But, you know, in repetition, it just very quickly became evident that we just don't have the min-maxed builds required for this sort of fight. Also, I was filled with a false sense of security by that first almost success when we fought him last time around. When we managed to land that lucky icy prison right off the bat. Because that made it seem like it was going to be easy. And, No, it turns out that just freezing him and then beating him to death doesn't actually kill him. He just gets back up at full health with a haste chaser, unless you also happen to have hit him with silver to suppress that particular mechanic. So ultimately, you know what, I decided that he did not deserve a good death, and I just started save scumming until we could land a lucky coup de grace, which, it took a while. We had a real fluke success that first time out, because it essentially turns out that he had a 50% chance of just spontaneously resisting Icy Prison, and then still also needed to roll a natural 1 to actually fail his reflex save, and then another natural 1 to fail his coup de grace check. Though even with all that in mind, it wasn't beyond the realms of possibility, it just took persistence, and I will also say, this was not the first time I killed him, it's actually the third. The first time didn't count, because we weren't playing on true core mode or higher. I had respecs turned on, so I had to go and turn those off to do it properly. The second time was a surprise fluke because of the con damage that Record's Cloak can cause. It just spontaneously killed him instantly and unexpectedly. But I wasn't running the recorder at the time. But thank goodness, third time's the charm. I actually had the recorder running and the difficulty set properly. So we're good. We can leave this place forever and never speak of it again. Let me just get this bleeding damage patched. That was another fun mechanic that leaned me away from trying to just beat him to death, old school style. Every time you hit him in melee, he automatically hit you back with bleed damage chaser. So it was best to either hit him from range or to hit him as few times as possible, i.e. coup de grace, where every attack had a 5% chance to instantly kill him. Completely bypassing the entire resurrection mechanic as an aside. Though, you know, just in case, I still tried to work in at least one silver spray every time. Just to hedge our bets. That said, we're pretty well tapped, but we've still got Tag Jakar ahead of us. Thankfully, I did think to save this second rest point, so we'll go get some rest, get our buffs reset, and grab our last shard. Our adventure wends its way to an inevitable end. And I will say, you know, despite my frustrations with Chain Darkness, who was, I'll stress, an entirely optional joke boss, I think this is actually my favorite of the 4 dungeons so far. I feel like they got pretty clever here. Hopefully the finale doesn't let us down, since that does seem to be the weak point of each of these micro-adventures. One sec. And never mind, it turns out we can't rest without becoming corrupted, which is actually worse than just not resting at all, so I guess we push on as we are. Which I suppose is fine. I can't imagine Tagdakar is even remotely as tough as Chain Darkness was. Pretty much everything from here on out should be a comparative cakewalk. But I guess we'll find out. Yeah, you can actually see down in the combat log there the remnants of our rest attempt. We actually did pass the religion check to suppress the corruption. It just still corrupted us. So I reset to a previous autosave. All right. Let's see what we've got. Tag, where you at, buddy? I'm sure you've got such sights to show us. Nothing in the nooks and or crannies. Let's check the corpse. Alkali gloves. The gloves are made of a strange, gross material and emanate a strong, acrid odor. 1d6 extra acid damage on melee strikes. Okay. Simple and potentially useful. Would actually be perfect for Grim. If not for the fact that we're already rocking a pretty potent pair of monk gloves. So you know what? We'll toss those over to Kanos. Here you go, bud. Enjoy. I would give it to Sir Brown, but he's about to hit the bench once we wrap this adventure. And we push on. Yeah, you know, I hate to leave any of the original 3 mercenaries out of our presumed finale. But as I've said before, Penta's presence does kind of put us in a pickle there. Ah, a grisly feast. Yeah, that does seem fitting. Perhaps best to avoid looking too closely at the awful buffet on offer. Oh, and here we go. Sir? Trembling and hugging himself, a muttering elf is curled on the dirty floor. His body is covered with purple scabs, his joints are twisted, and whitish maggots swarm in his left eye socket. Under the tangle of matted hair, you notice the pale glow of the shard. Callistria preserve us. He's still alive, and yet that filth has already come out. Who will take it? How fortunate! Our trip through this vile maze was worth it. Let's relieve the poor fellow of his unbearable burden and get out of here. Sentry already has 2 shards. There's a high probability that a 3rd would be harmful. Will it maim him? Drive him insane? I'd rather not find out. I think the elf got here with the shard already in his possession. But what did he face if even Sithud's soul could not protect him? The shard's glow is alien to these dungeons. It does not belong here. Your soul greedily reaches out for it, wanting to carry it as far as possible. Power is so close. You just need to stretch out your hand. Grim, a reminder that you are already carrying 2 shards. A 3rd could turn out to be too dangerous, even for you. Right, of course. You want to try taking this one? Penta picks up the shard from the prisoner's body and... Nothing. Right. Well, it was worth a shot. Record, you know what to do. The shard disappears in Record's hand. The tiefling winces in pain. Gods, that hurts. It's done. The prisoner stops shaking. The elf's muttering fades, and his remaining eye slowly closes. It is interesting to watch you. A thick, bass voice echoes softly through the hall. A majestic creature looms over you. Its skin is carved into elaborate patterns, revealing crimson flesh, and dark spikes grow from its head in a grotesque crown. You barbarians who killed one of my executioners, a servant of pain, so artlessly, but no matter. Here you will learn the delights of all a mortal body can endure. And now you are here, hoping to leave with my treasure? How naive. So, you're the pinhead they call Tag Takar. Certainly took your time in coming out to meet us. I am a humble slave and the master of this place. The Velstrak indicates the building with a sweeping gesture. And you say you're upset about the death of one of your executioners. You sure about that? You certainly don't sound like it. Not at all. You sealed his fate. This place suits you more than you think. Right, that's what I thought. Because you didn't intervene there, but you did here. I assume because you know what these shards really are. Yes, I am aware of that. As well as the fact that you not only stole that shard, but also brought a few more with you. The Velstrak smiles greedily. I have this nasty feeling that you won't let us go anywhere with these shards. Your premonition does not deceive you, tiefling. You deprived me of my most precious prisoner. But it turned out you were much more valuable. What interest do you have in these shards? Why do you want them? I am a connoisseur of pain in all its forms. Tag Takar's gaze becomes almost dreamy for a few seconds. My passion is to contemplate pain, to seek new ways to achieve it. The opportunity to observe the agony of an immortal soul is a priceless gift. The Velstrak greedily peers into the face of the cowering sentry. You realize that by looking into the gnome's heart, Tag Takar looks at the one who writhes in pain in the ice of a distant world, a forgotten demon lord, hungry to piece his broken soul together. Confession. I have never regretted not being able to carry Sithud's soul shards, but I am especially glad of it now. Thanks, Penta. That's helpful. Otherworldly creature, child of the stars and of the earth. To the Lord of Bones, mortals are but skeletons awaiting the day they are freed from their flesh. But your bones are made of a different material, an artificial one. You can't contain a part of Sithud's soul, true, because he can't understand what you are. The Velstrak smiles dreamily. But I understand you. Oh, those wonderful substances in your bones, your blood, your muscles. I will show you their true potential. You will experience things other mortals cannot even imagine. I have such sights to show you. Oh, no one's gonna get that reference. I'm so old. So that's it then. You built this whole place, went to all this trouble just to sate your twisted appetites? This place is a reflection of its twin in your own world. A century ago, I was called here by the despair, fear, and anguish seeping in from the material plane. They soaked into the very soil, forever changing this empty sanctuary. I merely answered the call and breathed true life into this place. A century ago? That's around the time of the First Crusade. So, the demons not only tore Sargeras apart, but also made it here. Not literally, of course, but still. Well, as fascinating as that all might be, it still doesn't answer the question. Why? Why are you doing all this? Every fresh wound, torn flesh, and cry of grief is an offering to the Dark Prince. I enjoy them too, but above all, I play the role of his servant. Well, I can certainly respect your desire to serve your master, but we do not. So if you'll excuse us. No. The Velstrax's gaze seems to penetrate your skin and burn you from the inside with magic and primal fear. Your body grows numb. The fragment of Sithud's soul trembles deep inside you, piercing your heart with 1,000 needles as it tries to hide from Tagtakar's gaze. A chilling, burning sensation grows into painful muscle spasms. The Velstrax's strange magic binds you for only a moment, but it is enough for you to understand. No matter what powers the Velstrax commands, he can take the shard without taking your life. Oh, interesting. What, I mean, phrasing there is kind of weird. Really felt like they were sort of leading up to him not being able to do it, but then again, if Sithud is also showing signs of fear in Tagtakar's presence. A convulsive shudder runs through Sentry's body. Teeth clenched with fear, the gnome whispers, "The shards! He will take them!" I mean, okay, but would that be the worst thing? Really comes down to what he plans to do with them. You don't actually care about us, do you? You just want the shard so you can feast on Sithud's pain. I have found a way to witness the suffering of an immortal being. I have never seen this, and I do not intend to deprive myself of this sight. The hitch in the Velstrax's self-confident speech lasts for the briefest of moments, but reveals the insincerity of his words. No, there has to be more to it than that. A single shard would be enough to give you a window. Why do you need more? Tagtakar's upper lip twitches. He hesitates before answering. I am hungry, not only for the pain of others, but also for my own. One piece of the soul will show the torment of its owner. More will cause suffering to those who dare take them. Even to me. What will happen to the shard if you take it? What happens to food when it is eaten? It ceases to exist. I'm not necessarily seeing a downside here. What about the person you took it from? If we were to let you take a shard, would they survive? If. The Velstrak grins. The one who loses the shard will feel pain much greater than what he felt when he absorbed it into himself. Painful, but not fatal. I, too, will experience pain, much more than any ordinary mortal could bear. Sweeter, more desirable. Tagdekar takes a deep breath, pushing away the craving that came over him. Enough talk. You will stay here. With an imperious gesture, the Velstrak points to his servants, then at you. The shadows around you begin to thicken, preparing to drag new prisoners into the depths of the dungeons. Well, Tag, it would certainly seem that you've got us outclassed. In which case, I see no point in resisting the inevitable. But before you have us dragged away, let me ask you this. The Velstrak does not respond, but looks at you questioningly, permitting you to continue. Well, you clearly want to taste this pain, to take one of these shards into yourself. So my question is, why wait? We're as good as captured. We have no way out. Why not just take one now? Why delay for even a second longer? And risk even the slightest chance that you might somehow be deprived? Tagdekar's silence seems to last an eternity. Trying to hide his predatory hunger behind precise speech, he finally answers. And whose shard shall I take? Oh, that's an interesting question. I mean, we all have equal amounts of shards now, and removing one, in theory, is beneficial, but also might come with very unpleasant side effects, given what we're hearing here. In which case, mine. Come and get it. With a greedy smile, the Velstrak reaches out to you. A painful chill pierces your body. Your limbs fill with leaden heaviness. And a cold maelstrom rises in your heart, trying to tear you apart from the inside. I will take it. The air around you freezes with a crack, filling with terrifying, otherworldly magic. Also, a Chivo. This pain inside, so savage. It burns with cold, rends into pieces, pierces the mind. I feel the pain. His pain. And I guess we just left. Alright, I mean, fair enough. He was pretty distracted there, but I honestly thought we were gonna, punch him in the face while he was eating. Penta takes a shaky breath. We are truly safe, but I still find it hard to believe. The likelihood of escaping the Velstrak was close to zero. You don't say. That was quick thinking, Sentry. A minute later and we'd have been hanging from the hooks. I swear by every clasp on my clothes, I wanted to escape as quickly as possible. And now one fragment is destroyed. It is destroyed, isn't it? Even demons are afraid of Velstraks, and Tagdekar himself clearly stated the shard is merely food for him. I think nothing remains of that piece of Sithud's soul. By the way, Grim, how are you? Penta looks at you with concern. I'm fine. The important thing is that we're one step closer to defeating Sithud. My only regret is that we couldn't risk giving him more. Otherwise, that might have solved our problem once and for all. Record waves his hand in frustration. We've wasted such a strong source of power. I wouldn't be surprised if we can't defeat Sithud without it. I mean, Record, you realize the soul shards are Sithud, right? We're not, like, physically fighting Sithud unless we reassemble his soul shards. Which, you know, is the thing we're trying to prevent, I assume? Unless I, like, really missed the memo here somewhere. Anyway, it's a shame we weren't able to defeat Tag Takar when we had the chance. I hope his prisoners know freedom someday. Many remained there of their own will. Others languished only because they didn't want to escape badly enough. Take Ulab, for example. He escaped more than once. I don't think he was that lucky. I assumed the Velstrak knew about his escapes, and also that the fetchling would return. He didn't value his own life. Yeah, it did seem like it was just another form of elaborate torture. Of all the Velstrak's victims, Ulab did seem to suffer the cruelest fate of all. What do you think happens to him now? Nothing good, I assume. As long as that place is sanctified in the name of Zon Kuthan, none of the captives will leave it. Right. Then what of Tag Takar himself? He's still a loose end out there somewhere. And now that he's had a taste of these soul shards, you think he'll come after the rest? Assuming, of course, we don't find some way to destroy them before he can. Tag Takar is, of course, powerful and terribly scary, but something tells me that he will not leave his sanctuary, not even for the shards. The chance that he will decide to do so is extremely low, but if it happens, it would take considerable time and effort to find us. By then, we will have defeated Sithud and destroyed the fragments. I mean, that's a pretty optimistic assumption there, Penta, but yes, let's hope. All right, well, whatever comes next, I think it's clear it only gets harder from here. Let's get some rest, people. We'll worry about whatever comes next, after. Your companions look at each other wearily and nod in agreement. The last journey left everyone exhausted. Hey, look at that! I posit that the very fabric of reality is ripping. Let's hope that angel knows what he's doing. Come on. Right. Yeah, looks like we're just about done here. I think that might be our final portal. Oh. Hey, Stalmer. What's up, bud? About time you got off the bench.
You have succeeded in your mission. The fabric of reality between Golarion and the Abyss is beginning to tear. Are you ready for the ritual?
Leaning on his spear, the angel peers inquisitively into the swirling darkness. Not just yet. We still need time to rest. But soon.
Fine, but please hurry up.
Yeah, we'll be back soon. Also, isn't tearing the fabric of reality between Golarion and the Abyss kind of what started the Crusades in the first place? I feel like Stalmer might not be entirely on the up and up here, but then again, who's to say, because we really haven't had much interaction with him throughout this entire DLC. He talked a bit when we first met him like 20 episodes ago, but beyond that, he's mostly just stayed on the sidelines with very little involvement. Yeah, I do feel like that is one thing this DLC has really struggled with, is giving characters some proper time to breathe and get established. Characters and plot points both. Stalmer, Penta. Honestly, even Sentry and Reckert, although they've gotten some characterization, really don't feel like they've had enough, like, soul-bearing moments or just general player interactions, chances for the player to really get invested in them and care about their final fate. Okay, so where'd we jump in the timeline now? The commander is back! Everything will be all right! Oh, well, we're right into the future now, apparently. But good to know Vex will be okay. Yeah, I was really worried about that guy. Also, Brody? That's not... No, that's not the Miller. The Miller turned thief. Who... Sir Grim Caldera? Is it really you? Brody the Gravedigger is staring at you from behind the table, looking like he's seen a ghost. Beside him sits a young man with a similarly pale and gaunt face, but without the gray hair. I'm glad to see you're well. Right, Brody. We met back in Canabras. With your permission, sir. I'm Brody the Gravedigger. You've probably already forgotten about me, of course. I'm just some nobody. But I remember you, and I pray for your health every day. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be sitting here. Oh, well, why are we just sitting here? Come on, get up, give our benefactor a bow. Brody nudges the young man next to him, who proceeds to stand and bow clumsily. This here, if you will allow me, is my eldest. Tall. Brody the Gravedigger, right, yes, of course, we did meet. Goodness, it feels like that must have been 30 entire episodes of my life ago. And of course, Tall, it's a pleasure to meet you as well. I certainly hope things have gotten better since last we met. Little, by your mercy. I was so afraid to come home and see no one there. But the gods have spared us. Everyone's alive, healthy even. It's just the youngest. Her leg, up to the knee. The Gravedigger sobs and reaches for the handkerchief with a shaking hand. So, things are almost the same as before. My business is going strong. Customers are coming in droves. And the nightmares have stopped. Almost. Here's hoping that things get even better. I hear the commander's back. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders. I'm sure he'll get the rest of this crusade business sorted. Yes, of course. May the gods protect you. Here, take this. You'll have more use for it than I do. Might come in handy. Maybe you'll save another life. Just like you saved mine. Quiver of holy ammo. Brody, my man. I'm sure this will serve us well in the final dungeon. Not, I suppose, that I've really made use of any of our other quivers. Just never really had need to. Yeah, that really kind of speaks to the overall weird balance of the DLC. You know, they gave us all of these various specialty quivers, but there's no real clear-cut times to use a lot of them. But holy at least, that should be potent enough to prove useful against most manners of evil. Certainly more clear-cut than Drakiith or Cold Iron. Rumor has it the Queen sent the commander off into the abyss. What? No. That doesn't sound like something the Queen would do. Why would she send her best man off to certain death like that? Man, can you imagine? A queen betraying her own knight commander simply because he was too successful. What a crazy story that would be. Also, I suppose I should probably stop talking to people from the future, lest we actually spoil something we didn't already know. I mean, obviously Vex isn't going to die in the Abyss. Dude's got real main character energy, you know? Death is for the side characters. Like Grimm. Anyway, yes, so let's hit the pause button real quick. I'll give this place a thorough pass, make sure we're not missing anything else. And then we'll push on. And we're back, rested, rebuffed, and ready to go. Let's not stall any further. Time to bring this grim tale to its inevitable end.
Are you ready?
Ready as we'll ever be. Let's rock.
Let it be so. I must tell you something before we begin.
Stalmer bows his head.
I already know what you're gonna say. It's been obvious from the start. We're all gonna die, right? The bearer has to die for the shard to be released. There are no exceptions. Did you really think we wouldn't figure it out?
Okay, record buddy, we literally just found an exception, like, 1 day ago. But I do assume there is indeed a catch.
Let me finish.
Oh, no, my friend. The ritual is by no means a death sentence for any of you. The healing touch of Sarenrae will melt the shards, corrupting your souls. It may burn, but it shall not kill. Assuming that Sithud's foul influence has not yet consumed you completely, that is.
Still, we are far from Golarion. Someone must serve as a conduit, concentrating the light and focusing it on you. No living being could withstand such power. Whoever channels the energy will be consumed by it. I will perform this duty, so I wanted to say my farewells now. It has been an honor to serve the Crusade alongside all of you.
After a short pause, he raises his hand in a salute. I mean, Stalmer, not to impugn your impending sacrifice, but I really feel like you didn't do a whole lot, but, you know, better late than never.
I'm sorry. I'm too used to looking for the catch. It has been a great honor for me as well.
Record returns the angel's salute.
No, wait! This is unfair! Are you really going to die? Is there really no other way?
No, indeed. It is my duty, and I will see it fulfilled. Your duty is to return to Golarion and continue to fight demons.
Note, I am a researcher, not a crusader. I have taken no oaths, nor accepted any such obligations, and I have no intention of going to war with demons.
Hey, nice to actually hear Penta's voice again. Yeah, I guess I wasn't all that far off. I mean, relatively speaking.
That is your choice. Then I ask of you only that you live an honorable life.
Acknowledged.
Well, Stalmer, I feel like we barely got a chance to really know each other, but I do admire your dedication to duty. Were I faced with the same decision, I would certainly do the same.
Thank you for coming to my aid when I needed it most. I had almost given up hope.
Least I could do. So what exactly does this ritual involve?
The sacred gestures and chants are known only to the goddess's celestial host, but its essence is simple. I will call upon Sarenrae with a prayer an angel would dare utter only in an hour of greatest need. As soon as my words reach Golarion, the goddess will hear them, and the rest is up to her. Your task is simple. Stay close while I pray, and fend off any potential threats.
I see. Would you mind elaborating on these potential threats?
Record. We are in the abyss. It would take days to recite the complete list of all dangers that may await us here, and that's without commentary. However, the most likely scenario is that the few remaining servants of Sithad will attempt to stop us. Perhaps, for example, the Ice Nulfeshni, who so far has been merely observing us.
Okay, now, Penta, I don't want to call you out, but I feel like you delivered that line completely differently than you did your previous line just a few sentences ago. Obviously, not the end of the world. It just kind of makes it feel a bit wonky. Also, yes, I feel like this is going to be a pretty basic tower defense type battle. Okay, let's do this right.
Hear me, O Everlight.
With hands folded, Stalmer begins a whispered prayer. The icy cliffs tremble, a blizzard howls, and before you is revealed the frozen husk of an enormous Nulfeshni. The monster strides silently toward you.
Just as I expected.
Stop this fiend! Give it everything you've got or we're done for!
Come here, you slab of frozen pork! We'll toss you back into the icebox you crawled out of!
Stay back, monster! To battle! Hold the line until I finish the ritual! Oh, okay, well. Thought we were in for the big fight, but apparently we're just dealing with mooks first, which is fair, I guess. A chance to whittle us down before the grand finale. Not that I'm particularly worried, though I am now realizing that when we rested it reset our raptor speed. That's a bit problematic. Though we do have a monk powered for just this type of situation. Yes. Sudden speed. Bonk. Wow, it honestly really kind of feels like they went pretty easy on us here. I feel like there should be way more foes. Haste up. Get more bodies on the battlefield. Oh, yes, also, most of our Shadow Plane money went towards this. The Locket of Magic Missile Mastery. Felt like a good buy. That's basically a free magic missile every round until we run out of slots. Not that we're at much risk of that happening at the moment, but we'll see how we're feeling about that 2 or 3 waves from now. O Everlight, shine your grace upon me! Help me endure this pain! Hang tight. I don't want to squander all our magic missiles on wave 1. Excuse me. Yeah, what he said. Wave 2. Oh, spellcasters. Okay, that's a step up. Though still far less than you would really expect. Yeah, like, I mean, those guys got taken out by our ads. Who do, granted, now seem to be a bit lost, but still. Yeah, I mean, just hang tight, Zendry. Save the spells for the real threats, I suppose. Hey, free shadow. Nice. Glad to get at least a little use out of that ring of shadow stealing. I shall persevere. No amount of pain will break me. We got your back, and also your front, once the big guy breaks through. Any time now? The last one. I see the dawn.
Help! I cannot. Someone has to finish the ritual.
Stalmer's body is burning. With the last of his strength, he looks to you. Stalmer, hang in there. We're almost done. Okay, props to the voice actor on that one. A cry of anguish is his only response. The angel is on the brink of death. Penta, you're our magic expert. What do we do? How do we fix this?
Commencing search for brilliant ideas. No results. My only idea is the most obvious one. I will finish the ritual myself.
You don't have to do this for us. Damn it! You don't even have any of these bloody shards in you! Why would you sacrifice yourself for us?
No, Penta, not you. You're not a crusader, you're an explorer. There's still so much more for you to study, so many songs for you to write. You've only just had your first taste of freedom, and now you're going to die? It's just not fair.
I mean, yeah, I was really just kind of fishing for ideas, not expecting you to jump the queue straight to self-sacrifice. But I guess it would give you some actual purpose in the plot.
Clarification. I undertake this task not for the Crusaders. Pardon my magniloquence, but I don't give a damn about them. I undertake it for the sake of my team, the best group I have ever worked with. Besides, Stalmar asked me to live an honorable life. I do not like being in debt. Now we'll be even.
Penta smiles. Okay, you know what? That's both touching and also hilarious. That's exactly something I would do. I don't like people telling me what to do. Oh, Penta. Actually, no, wait, we can't even let her sacrifice herself. But honestly, like, I mean, we're not going to have any of our allies sacrifice themselves. I literally just said if it came down to it, Grim would sacrifice himself. No, stand back, Penta. It was brave of you to offer, but leave it to the bolder among us. Stalmer, I'm here. Your companions stopped dead in their tracks, staring at you in astonishment.
The Technic would have discarded me without a second thought. You are the first to treat me as a person, not property. And now you sacrifice yourself to save me. Thank you, my friend.
You realize that you've never seen Penta smile so sincerely.
By all the shining blades of every good and noble knight, you could teach any crusader about true courage. We will never forget what you are doing for us and for all of Golarion.
We'll never forget this, and we'll make sure nobody else does either. From the lowliest squire to the queen herself. Farewell, my friend. We made a great team.
Record gives a salute.
Someone has to finish the ritual. Repeat after me, word by word. Hear me, O Everlight.
You can barely hear the angel's dying words. And here we go, facing down the big guy. Oh, geez. Sand's our primary frontliner. Yeah, I guess I didn't really think that through. Alright. Well, I'm sure we'll be fine. Not off to a great start. Penta at half. Kanos half. Aiden half. Not sure we can actually take this guy out without Grim. But we might just need to stall. We'll just try to buy time. Come on. Oh, boo. Wow, that guy's got the same spell resistance as Chain Darkness. Alright, just keep wailing. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Oh. Okay, I mean, whole party stun locked. Game over. Minus Penta, so I guess just... Great. Right, of course. Yeah, Unholy Nimbus, that one's rough. Even Vex and co. had trouble with that one during their one run-in with an Elfeshni back in Arilu's secret lab. And, you know, I mean, no offense to our current crew, but they are definitely not Vex and company. An excruciating chill runs over your body, crushing your bones, twisting your joints, and... Yeah, I mean, we're just stuck. We can't do anything. Everyone but Penta's locked down. Oh, Gaia. Still got Gaia. Ah, Gaia. You always were the best of us. Also the summons, I suppose. Which actually might work out for us if we can keep this guy distracted. Huh. After overcoming all obstacles and defeating the Caretaker, the heroes return to Sithud's Fane to call upon Sarenrae's power in an attempt to destroy the Soul Shards. Although they manage to weaken the Frozen Lord, only the Commander can defeat such a formidable foe for good. Grim Caldera offered himself as a sacrifice, and he almost burned to death in the goddess's cleansing flame. But he managed to come out of it alive. Trying to destroy one more shard would have surely killed him. But luckily it had already been devoured by a monster from the Shadow World. The end. Okay. Go home, Lord of Nothing, you're drunk. The adventures of your hero, together with Record, Sentry, and Penta, have come to an end. But the threat of Sithud's resurrection has not yet passed. Import your saved game into the main campaign and let the Knight Commander put an end to the Frozen Lord, once and for all. Sure, why not? What's one more Demon Lord? Also, I've got to say, it is a bit surreal to see a quest update popping on the main menu screen. Okay, wow, yeah, I guess that's it. 40 hours worth of DLC content, all culminating in this grand finale. I've got thoughts, but, you know, a lot of it would probably retread stuff I've already talked about before. I'm going to go ahead and compliment sandwich this. First, I will say, I like a lot of the concepts that went into this. I do feel like Through the Ashes was the stronger of the two. I do feel like a lot of it kind of went off the rails once you got into the second half, which took a completely different thematic approach and sort of kind of shoehorned Penta into the mix, despite the fact that players coming from the first DLC would already have a fully functional party. Which I do still feel was a pretty baffling move because, yeah, like Penta had no overarching purpose in the story. She was just there. I like her, but also there's nothing in the narrative she was integral for, aside from offering to sacrifice herself at the end, which we couldn't even take her up on. But that does kind of, I think, dovetail into the other general issue I had, which is that they don't really flesh a lot of it out enough. In concept, I like a lot of what the DLC had to offer, but they never really fleshed out much in the way of, like, your companions, the little mini narrative arcs they wanted you to go through. I feel like a lot of it would have had more impact. Like Stalmer, you know, Stalmer's sacrifice. I was just like, okay, yeah, he's dead. We met him, like, once, and he gave us some plot setup and then never talked to us again. It really does feel like they needed to give those characters and plot elements more time to breathe to get the player more invested in how they would actually ultimately pay off. But at the same time, I've got to keep my expectations realistic. This was an optional 15 to 20 hour side adventure, it's not a 200 plus hour main campaign. Though I will say, I do feel like a pretty easy fix, relatively speaking, would have been to make sure that each of those mini-adventures we went on inherently tied into one of our characters' backstories. We should have had something involving Record, something involving Sendry, and then something involving Penta. I kept waiting for the Technic League to come up again after her introduction, and it never happened. And then perhaps the fourth one could have been about Stalmer, get us invested in him right before his partially successful sacrifice. It also did feel very strange that we never really got a proper final fight, not with Tag Takar, not with the Caretaker. We rested twice, reset our buffs both times, and we just never really got a proper chance to flex, so to speak. Which does feel kind of weird for a combat-heavy CRPG. But all that said, and I mean that is a lot of meat for this sandwich, but all that said, I will say I very much enjoyed playing it. I do not regret running through both DLC, Through the Ashes and Lord of Nothing, and I do look forward to seeing how exactly it ends up ultimately paying off in the main campaign. Inconsistencies and underbaked plot elements aside, there was a lot to like here. And at the end of the day, I was entertained, and I felt invested enough to play through the whole thing, even if I do also think it could have used more time in the oven. Perhaps not the most compelling quest I've ever been on, but I'd still say, a solid B, B-. Goodness knows we've certainly played worse. That said, I guess we are well and truly done. We close the book on this particular grim chapter of our story. But to be continued once Vex inevitably finds his way back out of the abyss. Which should hopefully be sooner rather than later. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below, and perhaps I'll see you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help keep this channel going, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
I do not like being in debt. Now we'll be even.